Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Um, Before I start off this video, I just want to ask, how are you? Sorry, I'm looking at myself. How are you? I hope that you're well. You all are well. And if otherwise, which and there, I generally hope that it gets better for everyone, for all of us, really. So for this video, I kind of wanted to just give an update. Surprise, surprise, my whole channel is just updates now. I wanted to make this video mostly because I just want to just give sort of a clear more clear and less gruffy explanation of things, or just general just how I've been doing, compared to my last video about my seizure, and even made like a script. Here it is. Just so I mumble or stutter a lot less, which is a problem that I still have, and I've been noticing what editing my previous videos. There I go again. So I actually made the topics that I want to discuss into like parts, or kind of like bulletin points here in my script. So I won't lose track as much as I usually do, which is probably why I mumble and stutter a lot as well. And so what I want to discuss first, since I'm pretty sure the ones who everyone who clicked on this video came from my most viewed video, which is about my seizure. And so I wanted to make that my first topic, just to get it out of the way, so I won't waste anyone's time as much, because I know probably you're here for that. And the second topic would be about my work. A lot happened about that. And well, my car, don't have it right now. I'm gonna get into that as well. Mentally, emotionally, how I've been is the third topic. And well, future plans for this channel, and well, for myself. So let's get into it. Okay, so first is about what happened to me May 4, 2021. Something absolutely unexpected. So I'm just gonna tell the story of what happened on that week. Monday, because it happened on Tuesday. Monday, well, I went in for my first day at the new clinic that I'm working at, and it was good actually. I had a nice first day. Oh, ooh, you're sliding. I had a nice first day, and I'm honestly, I don't really remember a lot things. Sort of. back. That was my grandmother who called. Um, I think we talked for almost an hour and a half, maybe, or an hour. I'm not sure. We haven't really talked in a while, so it was nice. And, okay, so where was I? Oh, it's raining, so I hope that doesn't overpower my voice so much. So, where was I? First day of my seizure. Okay, so after work, went home, and actually slept early because I have work early in the morning. So I slept about 9 p.m. and I woke up at 6. Unexpectedly had this really massive headache. Like, was throbbing. It hurt so much. And I don't know why, because I had enough sleep, feel like, and my body felt really weak. Like, it just felt like I was absolutely coming down with something. And of course, with the whole pandemic and all, first thought I had was, shit, I might have COVID. But I didn't have a fever or anything like that. Didn't have a cough. Still had taste. And so I embarrassingly had to call sick for my second day of work. So, admittedly, I had to lie and say that I had a stomach ache at first because I didn't want them to be concerned. I'll get into that on the work topic, but yeah. But unfortunately, I had to fess up and say the truth on Wednesday. So this is Tuesday now, and my mom told me after I texted my boss, and my boss said it's okay, come back to work when you feel like it, and then get well soon, stuff like that. My mom told me to just go back to sleep, and maybe I'll feel better, and so I did. And then I woke up at the hospital with my brother at the foot of the bed, and me obviously very confused as to why the hell I was there. And then he explained to me everything and even showed me the video, which I was kind of thankful for, because if there wasn't a video, I wouldn't actually believe it. I mean, even with the video, I still kind of can't believe that happened to me, because just out of the blue, just out of the blue happened. And so this was Tuesday night. Apparently I woke up consciously this time, because there was moments they told me that I had my eyes open, but there was nothing. Like, they were trying to talk to me and I wasn't responding. I was just looking at them. And this happened maybe when they were trying to wake me up or stop the seizure when it was happening. I didn't really know how many seizures I had that day, but at that night at the hospital, I had 2 seizures before I woke up. And yeah, apparently I was drooling. I mean, you saw the video. You saw the video of my last, the clip of my last video. And yeah, that was happening. My mom was freaking out before they called an ambulance and went to the hospital. My sister, who I shared the room with, saw that I was doing that and called my mom. And my mom, of course, freaked out. And then they all tried to wake me up, that's why I had so many bruises. When I finally woke up consciously at the hospital, and they told me because they were trying so hard to wake me up and I won't wake up. So Wednesday, I fortunately didn't had another seizure, but that morning the nurse gave me a medicine that I am now currently drinking. 26-year-old with a maintenance. It's called Kepra. But I've been buying the generic version, which is Vocali or Vocal, because it's cheaper. Although technically not, I mean, it's still expensive, but compared to the branded Kepra one, it's cheaper. And I had to drink that twice a day. It's an anticonvulsant medication. And yeah, that morning at Wednesday, they made me drink that. And the whole day at Wednesday, I didn't have any more seizures up until now. So medicine might have worked, or it might only actually just happen that day, that Tuesday. So I don't know. We don't know. No one is allowing me to experiment on that and stop my medication and see if it'll still happen. Many fights about that with my mom, understandably. Yeah. So that Wednesday they had a swab test just in case for COVID, and it came out negative. And then after that, a CT scan, which came out normal, thank goodness. So after that, the general doctor, because the neurologist they were consulting wasn't available to come to the hospital that I was admitted. So the general doctor at that hospital that I was admitted to had contact with the neurologist and was relaying what the neurologist was telling her to us. And so apparently there's a possibility to have epilepsy, but they don't know because they wanted me to have an EEG and an MRI to make sure I don't have nerve damage, the MRI. And the EEG, that's to see if it was a legitimate seizure. So yeah, the whole week was very weird. They let me come home Thursday after no more seizure, Thursday morning. And then I was told I wasn't allowed to drive yet. And yeah, I think I made a video of Friday. Then I uploaded it Friday as well, just to, I don't know really. I don't really know. I mean, up until now I still feel really fucked up about it. A little less every day, but we'll get into that. So now the fast forward 2 weeks later, Monday, 2 weeks later? Oh yeah, 2 weeks later I had my EEG. If you don't know, by the way, if before you have your EEG, you have to be sleep deprived for 24 hours. 24 hours, so that you'll be able to have a deep sleep when you have your EEG, because you need to be asleep to have an accurate result for it. I mean, at least that's what they told us. So after that, we had to wait a week to know the result, to get the result, and then have the doctor read the result. So I had my EEG on Thursday, 2 weeks later, and then had the result the following week, Thursday again, and had my doctor's appointment on Monday. And that was just last week. So Monday last week, I found out that it was a true seizure. Apparently, my EEG had abnormal activities. So yeah, the doctor officially ruled it as a grand mal seizure or a tonic-clonic seizure, which is another big red flag, meaning that it might actually be possible that I have epilepsy. If it's sounding like I'm in denial, I am. Because, again, the first time this happened, and we have no family history whatsoever of epilepsy, and we asked this about the doctor as well, because apparently it could happen that I have it ever since I was a kid, and then it just manifested now. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But the doctor is still not ruling it officially as epilepsy or officially as me having epilepsy, because I still need to have my MRI with contrast, and we don't know when I'll be able to have that because it's crazy expensive here, and we don't have money for it. So we're just going to have to be like this for a while until I have that. And I don't think my insurance can cover that anymore because we used it at my hospital stay. Yeah, and I gotta stop saying yeah. I feel like I keep saying yeah a lot. I'm sorry. And so that is the development of my whole seizure episode at the moment. I think I'll make another update of what I have my MRI and the doctor reads that. Hopefully it's also normal, and mainly really I just really want to stop taking the medicine. It doesn't really have any side effects for me. I hate having to have maintenance of a medicine of any kind. I'm only 26. I rarely get sick, and so this happening to me just really is very surreal still. And twice a day, 500 milligrams each. So I've been taking 1,000 milligrams of that shit every day. And I can't really take it without eating first, too. So even early in the morning, because I have to take it, 6 or 7-ish at the morning. And sometimes that early I don't really have an appetite yet, but I have to just suck it up. So yes, you can log off now if you are no longer interested in the next topics. But okay, I'm gonna get into the next topic, which is work. So I don't know if I ever covered before my last video, if I ever told you officially what happened, that why I'm working at a new clinic now. But so my the last clinic that I worked on wanted me to work full-time, and I couldn't anymore because I'm studying for an international license for medical technology, so I can finally get to work abroad. Because to be honest with you, I don't think I have a future here in this country. Very, very little work, very little pay. It's like very much overwork, very little pay. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's not all like that, but it's mostly like that. And it's getting really hard to save with that whole setup. And so now I'm working at a clinic. It's still a clinic, but very different setting. Different machines. Mostly they do manual work and they are very strict. Oh, like a shock to me compared to my old work. They're very loose, even considering the whole pandemic thing. But here, I can't really go inside the clinic without having a face shield and having double mask on. And not just me, everyone, even the patients. And yeah, the differences. Okay, so maybe I'll just put some differences. So my old work and my new one. Old work, not as tight when it comes to safety with the whole COVID and everything. I mean, they do the triage, but not that much. It's like self triage yourself. And the old work, they have a personnel assigned to triage area. A triage meaning, they interview the patient, they temperature the patient themselves. Of course, alcohol, disinfect yourself and shit. They have you answer this full sheet truthfully, so they really grill you on that because apparently they have an issue of a patient going in not telling them that he actually had a fever. So that whole thing, and he ended up being positive. So they ended up having to close for 14 days for quarantining. Thankfully, they didn't really have the new work. Thankfully, didn't have any workers be positive for COVID. Old work, so far before I left, they had 2 staffs be positive for COVID. So that's it. Yeah. And next is workflow. Workflow here, of course, reception. You go to reception first, and then after that, you pretty much just wait for your name to be called. Your reception puts your request in the lab or in the x-ray or wherever you have your test, and yeah, you just wait for your name to be called. And then lab wise, workflow there is you take the blood and then you sample it on the machines. Heavily automated there, by the way. Not all is automated, but mostly is automated. And they type your name at a word format. They have like a word and they manually type your name. We have encoders there at the lab where I used to work. They have encoders and they encode your data and stuff manually, your name, age, and stuff. And then they print it and we sign. The licensed medical technologist signs. The new work, they actually have a system built just for them. So the reception is the one who had to type your all information, and that whole information is then sent on the computer, all the computers, and it's actually a lot easier because then you just have to type in the results. The patient's name is already there, the company, the packages, everything is already there. Or all you had to do, the departments, the x-ray, the lab, all we had to do is just encode the result themselves. And then if the packages is the company packages, like if they're for annual physical exams or for pre-employment, then it automatically just, the information basically is the one that has to print it themselves, and they just have to give it to the lab, so the licensed medical technologists would um, sign it themselves. Um, or if it's the patient, if it's OPD outpatient, then it's the same thing, but the lab gets to, or the X-ray gets to print it themselves. So yeah, that was actually really nice to have their own system. And mostly manual work there. They have automation, but they are very strict and heavy on quality control. So, if there's just any flags or any weird thing, automatically they have to manually check it, which is actually the protocol. And they actually get to do that because there's not a lot of patients. There's not, basically, we're not really overloaded with work. And yeah, the salary is actually kind of higher compared to my old one, considering we are absolutely overworked there. Um, my new work, they don't really accept that much mobile APEs because the owners are really strict. They're really heavy on, you know, the less exposure, the better. So many, what do you call it? Ventilation exhaust fans. Just every section, even the waiting areas have exhaust fan, and then at lunchtime they use that time because on my old work we don't really have lunch break. The whole clinic doesn't have really a lunch break. We do individually, of course, but it's rotation. My nose is getting really. um, it's rotation, so each has about maybe 30 to an hour of break, and then after that, you go back to your duty, and then your partner gets to eat. So work is continuous because so many fucking people there, like every goddamn day, and then not including the mobiles, which are hundreds at times. So it's stressful there. Um, Over here, they don't really accept it as much unless the pay is high because apparently my new boss's philosophy is, you pay it if the pay is worth the risk. If it's not, then they're not gonna accept it. So, I mean, that's nice. Less work, I guess. Salary is high, but unfortunately, since I'm new and literally I'm the only one who's new there, I'm in the probationary period, not really probationary, what you call it, on orientation phase or period. So technically, I don't have a salary until they deem it fit that I no longer need supervision to do work there, or I have the flow. I'm caught up with all the flow, and I don't need help constantly like I do now. So that sucks. Basically, I'm broke, guys. So yeah. But the perks there is, I mean, technically, I feel like I back to my internship days. They still give me something like 100 pesos a day allowance fee, they call it, so I'm not completely going home empty-handed. But still, so yeah, uh, new work. So yeah, the old work, that's it. No salary and everything. And yeah, they asked me to go full time. I couldn't because I work there 6 days a week, and so I only have one day to get to study, which is not ideal because I really need to get to study. But here I work at 5 days a week, and sometimes I get to go home early if there's not much work. And lately, the week that I get to compete doesn't really have that much work. there are days, but it's a lot looser when it comes to that whole thing, like the work thing, which is good because I get to go home less exhausted. Then I get to focus on studying more, and then I have 2 days and weekends to study again. So basically, I denied getting regular in my own works, and so they had to let me go, which is understandable. I get it, and you know, I'm here now. So my current work situation is not getting paid, basically an intern, and getting to actually get back to being a medical technologist, because my old work I am mostly jag analyst there for 6 months, and I completely forgotten everything, not everything, but most of my medical technology duties. So it's nice to be able to um, get back into it. And my workmates are actually really nice. We are mostly women, so that's nice. Feels a little, not like it wasn't safe at the my old work, but it feels a little bit less weird or awkward or anything like that. Or you don't have to constantly be um like, I don't know how to explain it, but just if you're a woman working with male, you know what I mean. Um, so we are mostly women there. Yeah, the only male is some doctors and the owner himself. The owners are actually the my male boss is the doctor, and my female boss is a medical technologist. So she is actually the chief, which is nice. Um, and aside from our lab tech, which she mostly does the other stuff, like some assistant work, not really assistant work, but sometimes she does more than that, and taking blood, mostly that, and just generally helping out the registered medical technologist. Besides from her, this the lab area. I'm the youngest. I have two other licensed medical technologists, and they're a lot older. And I think I find a little bit comfort in there because they actually get to teach me a lot. Some of them have more experiences, of course. One of them, or I think both of them, I'm not sure, already gets to work abroad and now just came back here to settle down. And that's nice. They're teaching me a lot. And I don't have to constantly stress about um, like documents or responsibilities like that, like I used to with my two previous works, because there's a lot of times that I would left just me in the lab, worrying about all of it. And it's nice to just be a medical technologist, work work wise, and not have to worry about documents and stuff like that, because they get to do that. And it's nice, I'm a junior medical technologist, and just less stress about that, and it's a nice relief. Mostly downfall is, of course, I'm not getting paid, but that's it. Honestly, right now for me lately, that's the only downfall for me. Huge huge perk, I think, is free parking. Although I can't really get to do that now because of the car is just coming up later. Um, But yeah, I have free parking because they have this enough space for parking, and then that's the clinic. Whereas, I mean, my old work, I had to park at a mall, which has a, I have to pay a fee every time I get to park there because there's no parking space really. At the clinic that I used to work, and then I have to walk there. So yeah. So that is where I am with my work career. So next is about what happened to my car. And so currently I don't have my car. It's in the cuz my car is a Toyota Wigo, and it's the in the Toyota branch, Subic branch here for a repair. Because I don't know if I ever did uh, tell the story, but me and my mom got into an accident. Can't remember if it's early this year or late last year, but they only now get to actually um, pull it out to fix it because the parts took a little longer to get to their shop. Can I call it a shop or branch? So yeah, uh, I'll show you a picture of what it looked like the day it got wrecked. It's not a huge damage. I mean, I was still able to drive it, thankfully, before they pulled it out. And what happened was, I wasn't the one who's driving, by the way. Just want to say that. It was my mom. She was pulling on a corner, and then there was a delivery van, and he hit us. He hit at us. Apparently, since it was a corner turn, apparently it was our fault, and that my mom didn't stop, as he said to the police, which is kind of impossible because it's a corner. It's like like you're required to stop instinctively to just check if there's anyone coming. So whatever, that was settled. Thankfully, my car insurance covered everything, so that was great. And yeah, I don't know when my car is going to come back out, going to get fixed completely, because they found hidden damages. So they had to ask my insurance if they're going to cover that too, and thankfully they did too. So that's great. Right now, transportation wise, we have another car. It's a family car slash going to be my brother's car eventually. So currently, either my mom or my brother takes me to work and picks me up from work, because a family car is a manual and they don't really trust me to drive it. Even then, and even more now after the seizure. So everyone keeps telling me, you're not allowed to drive yet, don't drive, maybe not, and like, fuck you, I don't know. I'm gonna drive again, okay? Haven't had a seizure in a while, so chill. I'm gonna wait for my car, don't worry, but right now, yeah, I'm not allowed to. They don't want me to. And now for the fourth topic, which is where I am mentally and emotionally. I have not been doing great, to be quite frank with you. Mentally, I have been having a lot of just issues with just myself, really. And big factor, of course, is the seizure. Just all comes boiling back to that. Um, I felt a lot weaker because of that. Not physically, but personally and health wise. I don't know. It's just I brought on some issues. I mean, I had been doing actually quite great before everything happened. I've been reviewing, got a new job. My first day was nice. I was able, and I mean, I think a huge factor in why I'm feeling uh, quite down lately mentally is because after the seizure, I've been having some memory issues, some short-term memory issues, and some issues from like retaining memory. I've been coming back to it. Thankfully, my memory has been coming back. Like, for me, it's kind of slow, but it's coming back at least. Like my capacity to memorize or remember stuff is coming back again. But some memories that got out, that went out after the seizure, some of them are just completely hopeless cases. Like, I will never remember that. I had to ask my boss to reorient me when I came back to work because I forgot everyone's names. Usual things that, because I'm not really good at directions, so I was kind of glad when I was doing so well before the seizure that I was remembering some shortcuts, some routes, and that all went gone. That all went out. So when they drive me, trying to remember stuff, some places again. Of course, old memories are still here. I still remember stuff. I still remember I do YouTube. It's just a couple of things. Not a single memory of what happened. Well, how do I say this? Like, I'm not really sure if it's a memory, but I had snippets. Like, it's a dream. Like, when you try to remember a dream of what happened on that day, when I had my seizure, and that's basically, I don't know, because ever since I was a kid, it's just, I always kind of get to rely on at least my brain or my mind for things, because I always say that I overthink. I still do. But yeah, and then, one day it betrays me for some reason, and I feel really shitty about it. I feel quite shit about it. Yeah, and mentally, that shit is going on, and of course, emotionally, it affects me. I can't help but just feel horrible when the doctor first mentioned epilepsy, because then, I always actually also relied on my well-being, like my health, because compared to my siblings, well, aside from my younger brother, I mean, we both mostly rarely get sick of anything. So when this happened, it kind of, yeah, I feel quite not me anymore, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, it's a completely different me. It's weird. I'm trying to really, hey, Okay, so I need to make this quick because my phone is complaining about running out of space and the video keeps cutting now. Uh, okay, so emotionally and mentally not doing so good. But I'm trying my best to get there. You know, I'm trying to refine the old me and not dwell too much on completely finding the old me. You know, I still kind of want to embrace this new me because I kind of have to. You know, I kind of have no choice but to, because I don't want to be that person who keeps running back to the past. Eventually, we all need to move on, and I myself need to do that too. So, future plans for this channel. I really wanna. I actually have a lot of content ideas, but unfortunately, with everything that's going on, I can't really do anything about them. But as soon as I have an opportunity, I promise you, I will make those ideas possible. And better a better camera, you know, a better filming setup someday. And I really just want to be a little bit more consistent with things. You know, get better at editing, you know, find something, better software for that. I tried downloading before some software on my laptop for editing. Didn't really work out. It got so complicated, so I just stuck with my phone again. And career-wise, hopefully I pass this international exam and get to go abroad. That would be a fun content, right? And hopefully things get better with everything. And you know, with everyone who is struggling like me, maybe not in the same context, but you know, it will. It will. It will for us. You gotta keep pushing through, my dudes. We just gotta. Because if not, then what's the point of things? Just, okay, let's not go there. Let's not go there. I want to go there. You know, anyways, thank you for listening. I think I rambled again, but I hope a little bit less than before. And I just want to thank my 11 subscribers. Genuinely so thankful that 11 people are actually interested in what I upload. Thank you. And I'm sorry for making this too long of a video for very little interesting things. But given everything that I've talked about, I think I might not be uploading for a while. But you know, if content or just some better quality things that I get to happen upon, you know, that I like and I think it's good enough to be uploaded on my channel, I will try, you know. But I don't really want to force it because I still really no, this is my channel and I'm supposed to get to do what I want with it, you know. I get to be happy with what I want to share, and I hope someday um, I get to upload something that's worth your time. Better things than these videos. So thank you again, and I hope you are going to be well or are well, and it's ringing like on cue. Bye.